Let me gist you guys how I took a trip from Lagos to Ibadan just to eat Amala. So I met up with Brian and Tolu at Mobolaji Johnson train station. Here we are doing security checks, up the escalator and into the waiting area. For the train ride to IB, we booked the standard ticket which cost 3.6 per person. I was actually impressed with how clean the interior was, and there are vendors on the train that sell food, so I got this plate of rice and chicken that was very underwhelming for 3k. The ride to Ibadan took exactly 2 hours 30 minutes, and from there we hired a private cab that took us around Ibadan. Our first stop is the talked about Amala Sky. With the way Ibadan people brag about this spot there, I was so excited to try out the Amala to see for myself what the hype is about. Okay, so this was a decent eat, but I actually expected way more. The stew was where I felt like they missed it, but anyway, I'll rate it like a 6/10, so yeah. Back on the road and to our next spot, Vicky took us to this place called Iyameta. Got some Amala, ewedu, goat meat stew, and the rest. Spent a total of 4,300, and something I noticed is that they are very stingy with their ewedu here. Anyway, let's get into it. I already visited Amala Sky and I was a bit let down because I was expecting way more. This was even worse.
I'm trying to make sense of what I'm listening.
I honestly did not like it at all. The Amala tasted like it was mixed with something, and the soup, well, let me just eat my meat and be going because I can't. So far, I was already feeling let down because as a food blogger, I've eaten Amala in a lot of places in Lagos. And you know how Ibadan folks say their Amala is way better than Lagos? That was literally the essence of my trip here. Anyway, on to the next spot, we touched down at Olamomi. You already know the drill at this point. Another bowl of Amala, another round of eating. The Amala was just there, if I'm being honest, like a 5/10. Next up, we headed into UI because someone suggested we try out Archives Amala. And it was at this spot we finally got to eat Amala that was good. Like, I'd rate it a solid 8/10. At this point, I'd already eaten enough Amala for the day, so Tolu and I spotted this bubble tea shop, and I told her I had never tried bubble tea before, so of course she put me on game, and I loved it. Anyway, we headed back to the train station to make our way back to Lagos. This time around, we booked business class seats, which cost 6.5 per person. There isn't much difference between the business class and standard seats, just that the seats are comfier and you get to sit 2 on a row instead of 3. This trip was exhausting, but I'm glad I took it. Now, what state do you want me to visit next?